This is Super Yacht Radio.
Welcome on Super Yacht Radio on another interview with a gentleman from the yachting industry with a long time history. And it's going to be a very interesting one because the topic is not only one, we will cover several topics within this market as his experience just brings it up. And I warmly welcome you, Riccardo. And it's a pleasure having you here on the Super Yacht Radio. So let's talk about a little bit who you are and what is it that you do.
Well, an Italian guy, and then now is more close to the 60 than the 20.
But even though you look younger,
yeah, but the time passed, and they spend a lot of time, and most of his time on the super yacht business. Really, I use this expression now when I have interview and I speak with people. Really 360 because I see all the side of the desk. So spend time on board, spend time initially in the Navy, and spend long time in my actual position in the shipyard. And now, from last year, I rescue a long time ago project that started in 2006. It was superyachtengineer.com. And with this, the base was thinking to translate all this experience, young generation and new people that coming in the industry.
Well, you mentioned a super yacht engineer. Are you by yourself an engineer? And if yes, in which field have you studied?
Yeah, I'm a chief engineer, class 1 unlimited. I was study in the Navy, the Italian Navy, mechanical engineer and system engineer, basically. And from there, I spent most of my time, around 22 years on board, sailing before in the Navy. Then I was in the tank ship, so I was a little bit special Navy because I was also merchant at the same time. We transport water, really. And
transport water on water.
Water on water, exactly. Well, the mission there was a long time ago, so I can speak about. The mission there was supply water, fresh water, for human use at the NATO unit that they coming at that time in La Spezia and in the Bay and around. It was a local service. But I mean, I remember we supply water to the Nimitz and other aircraft carriers and French Navy and English Navy. So yeah,
the range of interesting places where we went and also the activities, the duties that they did. I think that's something that is pretty unique. Rarely someone to meet like you.
Yeah, because normally people they make. A military school, a naval academy, or something like that. Normally they stay because the effort that you make in the 4-year contract, that is the basic contract at my time, is strong. You are young. I always say then when I was on board sometime, crew say me, chief, you really hang in everything. You take so good the pressure. And I say, what pressure? There is no pressure on board a yacht. Let's say you have it, but really, I think that the Navy, in that sense, they give me the discipline and the way to thinking, and especially now, spend so much time and I'm thinking about, because in a moment of my life, then I start to recollect memory, I start to think and understand. Really, I think that the Navy was a really good school, especially in emotional management and leading that the people have be a very good officer. In reality, they measure the officer. Also in the Civil War, because you, especially when you are got from the Navy, you think then oh, you are set up for the military world, and it's not true. Navy is very concerned about the life on board and the way that you spend your time on board and the relationship that you have. So I think it's
Now,
good.
based with this experience on board, especially when it comes to, let's say, a longer time on board, you have a certain space that you can use, and that's it. It's somehow limited. And in this regard, relationships and also maintaining emotional pressures in a way that it works.
Mm.
What is for you, or in your experiences, the most critical part for most people, except you, of course? But what is it that most people struggle with?
Well, I think then is that one obviously when you are in the Navy, you are colleagues and people then more or less make the same track of you of experiences make at a school academy, so they are formal in some way. When you go to the civil war or the normal war, what we say when we are in the Navy, uh, yeah, the people I think it is not prepared for the pressure, and most of the time there is a lack of leadership, and in that sense, in the end, you need to control ego and the empathy and the way. In fact, I'm personally really on the mindfulness stuff because I think that help a lot of people. I try to take it out this noise that we have everybody or overthinking in the head, and you are not enough prepared really forget this pressure. So when the things is complicated, as I say, a long time I make for 12 year, 14-year charter. And I always said, the captain said, look, try to have at least the officer very well gel together.
Yeah.
Because when we arrive in August, we're going to have a problem. Because the pressure go high, we are tired, and nobody keep the pressure in the same way. So I think then the emotional some you know what's happened in the technical world, there is the no agree for me used to don't value enough the emotional side of the life on board. Concentrate 24 hours there. You have a problem or something that they told you. There is also the language barrier and the culture barrier that you have to stay on that, and something that you don't like or something that is you are not used to. And in the next hour, you see again the same person, and you need to work it together. There is no escape. There is no 8 hour. Okay, I go home. I do my things and I'm coming back. So I think there is a special world they need to treat with respect. And because I make different experience, yacht crew especially, because sometimes there is, I find me when I was with a ticket, I renew the ticket, and I go to the Coast Guard in Italy, and I always say, yeah, you work on yacht. I say, look, it's a serious job. It's not a funny job. So I have the feeling sometimes that also inside is perceiving that in that way, as like something. Wow, but in the end, no. In the end, is another work. You are on the sea with a very expensive piece of equipment. You have very high responsible, and you passageway people. Then they're very important. So there's no what first, second, or third class in that sense.
Well, as you mentioned so many things about experiences and also what is important on yachts and where the pressure is and problems, when I hear about super yacht engineers and the consulting and everything, the way that you have now chosen to go to, as you mentioned before, for young people, what is it that you deliver nowadays to the younger generations that they can sustain those pressures and have, even though on the yacht, where a lot of people think it's just fun, which is not,
No,
obviously. But
no.
what is it that you bring across as experience and for training purposes as well?
Yeah, well, my idea, and that is obviously I restart the project no long time ago now, as from July 25. I want to restart this project because when it's born, Superyacht engineer, basically I try to help people with ticket and stuff. Was the year then there is a lot of change with the STCW 95 and after coming 2010, and there was a lot of concern and doubts. Now my view is a little bit more open in that sense. Help the people with the basic. So there is a few training courses that now we finish with some teammate and I have, and there is introduction at the leadership, introduction at the fire and safety, survivor. Then I'm not interested to make the STCV course because there is a lot of people that do this and they don't need me. but yes, I think then you can see that from a point of view of somebody then live that really and stay on board really and see arrive the ESPS and see arrive these things. Then you see the previous generation, for example, especially for this engineer, no? I remember the old generation and say, oh, this electronic things, this stuff that you use, you touch with the hand, you know. And
Yeah.
then I respect was what is what. Somebody of them work with steam machine. Me, a steam machine, I have a little license for 3 tons hour or little or steam machine because in the 80 we still take this license, no, but I never work with. Just I just see it, and so we want to try also to understand evolution and try to anticipate that. Now we have the artificial intelligence that's coming.
Yeah.
Both every time are more complex. In long time ago, but in 2007, I built a 62-meter motor yacht. That was a big boat at that time. We have all fiber optic. So people need to understand that also the profession of the chief engineer is changed, is new in the naval affair, because in reality it start when we start to put a steam engine, no, and in a sailing ship. So and I see that there is the necessity to combine all this stuff. So try to combine the technical things with the leadership. Understand, because in the end, I find especially on board or the yacht industry, many chief engineers that make the jump for be sole engineer, alone engineer. Then in the end, you are chief engineer because legally it's your position to have 2, 3, 4, 5 people to run it.
Yeah.
And be a good technician doesn't mean that you are a good leader. So you need
Well,
this.
if you talk about that, let's go for a moment into the leadership and also the emotion part and how to run a business with people. When it comes to communication, as you mentioned already, in your words, how important is a great and a good communication?
It's really important, really important. But especially, and that is another of the things, no, then they're gonna happen very quickly with the artificial intelligence. The most important part of the communication is the empathy.
Yeah.
And try to understand, try to put yourself in the place of the other guy.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
With experience and a lot of error, a lot of mistake. But with something then I think then also the Navy Academy really because of it, you have a background of your family and the people that you have around. They've been teaching you in the beginning, but also Naval Academy to really have a critic thinking, a little bit of Greek philosophy. That is no, it's not bad to, it's not something to throw it away. It's something important. So if you, in the correct way, you put in dubs, what is your first impression? What is your first thinking? If you try to put yourself in the place of the client or the captain or your second engineer, whatever it is, in reality, one of the things that I like of leadership and this kind of things is that you can happily in everything, also in your personal life. Is no, if you put in the place of the other and try to understand for each part, obviously, because a meeting and something is two. There's no one.
Yeah.
When I make refit, I say, if we wanted a successful refit, we need to work together. Program manager and crew. Another case, we're gonna have another type of result, but not a very good one, a memory one. So yes, that's the part. Yes.
Well, this a lot is theory. I mean, there are so many books and also trainings regarding how to communicate or how to put yourself in someone else's shoes. In theory, that works pretty well for a lot of people. But when it comes to the reality, as you said as well, you need a lot of times of hitting your head on the wall, making errors and getting pain. But what is the best approach that you see on how to train people to get over that edge, to really be able to handle those situations, not in the theory, but really in
reality
way?
Yeah. Theory always is important. You need to know a little bit where it comes from, the things. But the common partner, then I see that with different people, when we're talking about, you discover then there's a lot of people who make a lot of effort for understand the other people and understand himself. It's very difficult that the people dig really inside of himself. Also because there is something in neuroscience and another type of school they're speaking about, but it's true that the most stronger teacher is yourself. And the people then have the more critic and also negative sometimes looking is you are yourself. It's not the other people. So many people start, and it's human, it's normal. Everybody, I'm not special. As I say, it's only experience. Start to look outside when in reality, when we teach that and we make some meet and greet with people, and let's just say, look, I know that it's annoying and it's look like something strange, but you really need to start to look inside of you, start from you. Because if you are in pace with you, if you know what you are, you know your skill and also your defect, it's more easy put in the place of the other people.
Makes absolutely sense. Absolutely sense. Well, when it comes out to the younger generation in general, when you have the best experience, advice that you could give to someone who gets started to go into those directions that you are now in, what would that be?
Well, something that I really like to sell, like my original, but in reality, something that it's I'm in the Navy Academy. Say now you have a position, but go on board, be humble, try to find somebody that have the good volunteer for teach you something, follow up, listen a lot, speak not too much. And normally something then work.
Well, that's, I think, very good advice for you listeners here. If you want to go into a direction, the yachting is not only yachting. I think that's something for generally speaking that you that you do your work. It's about learning. It's about understanding that there are errors, listening more than talking. Because when you talk, the only thing that you do with talking is practicing what you have learned. But the learning part is mostly in the listening. So thank you.
Sometime I find, sorry, Walter, sometime I find that also if they don't speak, they don't listen. They
Yeah,
think and other things to say, okay, well, this guy, oof, whatever. That's,
they are distracted then,
yeah, yeah.
especially nowadays with the AI. But that's a very valuable advice. Absolutely. But now when it comes to the superyacht engineers consulting and coaching, how do people find you?
Well, I have to say that most of the people LinkedIn
Yeah.
because really from the moment that I start and I try to start few series of posts. Now I just finished to make a few posts on naval disaster. Then people love it. I don't know. Sometimes it's creepy for me because I think there is a lot of other things to talking. It's true. Just joking a bit. It's true. Then in safety rules and in the way that we move on board, there is no mystery. A disaster creating new rules. New rules were happily unfortunately until the next disaster because there doesn't exist this total safety doesn't exist.
No,
Always there is something.
it's life. Life is
It's
always
life.
risk.
Life is always like this. So that and now we're gonna start a new series. I want to start a series just for the beginning of the position of the chief engineer on board until now and to the future
Yeah.
because there is definitely better than 20 or 30 years ago, I have to admit. But there is still a little bit of resistance from the traditional position on board
Mm-hmm.
to accept the fact that the most qualified people and the guy that have the bigger responsible if we have an accident for the technical part of the boat is the chief engineer.
Yeah.
That that knocking with with the naval tradition, and especially when you are out from a classic place like the Navy. Sometime in my experience on board, and as what I try to transmit to the people, I have captain, and somebody, I'm the captain. Yeah, yeah, you are the captain, and nobody gonna say about that. But I'm a chief engineer, and sometimes after try to low down the depression and the moment. I say, look, in the Navy, I never have to explain what is my position. And here, yes. So that, bring me light and thinking and say, why? Has to be clear. I know as my position, my position. I don't want your position. If I want your position, I take the license and I do it. But I want my position and my respect. And this, believe me, I have a lot of people that contact me and say, somebody didn't talk about this, and say, oh, well, I talk about this because at the end of my career, in the middle was more difficult. But no, I always defend the position. I think it's important. It's important.
Yes, it's positioning. Not only that, but also the understanding of what is your job out, let's say, from the eyes of a captain who is not a chief engineer. And at the end of the day, to me, a yacht needs technical stuff. I mean, if you have a captain and you have something that doesn't work, or a sinking boat, then a captain can do nothing. So there is engineers are then the questions, how can they resolve the problem? And I think that the combinations I understand too, from the old traditional marine side to the other one, to this I call it the civil, that there is sometimes this gap that need to be closed, that people understand and also respect it out of not only because for the respective part, but really because it's important to close that gap for the safety for everybody aboard at the time.
Absolutely, and also I say sometime. I remember with a guy in a meet and greet that said, but I don't understand the captain why reaction like this." I say, look. Try to for that they're now going to make this serious from the start to the future. No, the chief engineer said, think then probably your captain. And I don't know him personally. Is make the tradition course, career, academy, school, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And in a tradition, then we are the last arrive. Before the sail, they don't need us. We don't exist. The boat was you when Colon go to and discover America. I mean, the bigger problem they have is the water because they start with the water in barrels and the water's simply deteriorating and arrive in a moment that they cannot drink. Today, nobody think about that because there is the engine room then produce this.
Yeah.
So also, as we said before, I think that you need to understand the other part. You need to understand that it's uncomfortable to have somebody on board with so much power in fact and in writing, because if you have an accident, captain and chief engineer gonna see the judge. They're gonna see the procurator. That's it's for sure. There's no doubts. It's the first two guys. They go there to say, okay, tell me what's up,
Yeah.
and tell me, give me proof and stuff. So and it's uncomfortable because I can understand. I can understand if you are not have a large experience or different experience, if you don't come in for that for me is important for a naval school, a very good school. I don't need to be from the Navy for the military, but a very good one with a very good teacher. Then also try to touch this
Yeah.
can be difficult. Can be difficult.
Well, there we are. If you want to know where to go and who to contact to not only get the theory or the civil part, but also the marine part, and actually with 40 years experience in the yachting, you need to go to Riccardo Peirano. There is no other way than that. So check out the super yacht engineers, because to have a consulting or a coaching or both, that can bring you so much further with someone who has it done. I mean, not in the theory, but really in the practicing with situations that most of people most probably don't have experienced. Some of them maybe fortunately, but for the training purpose, unfortunately. But there you are with Riccardo. He can train you. He can coach you. And one more time, if you want to find him, go to LinkedIn, look for Riccardo Peirano. You will see the link as well in the video below if you look at it. And then you have the one that you need. He even is a great speaker. He knows how to talk with people, handle people. So if you're a difficult guy, don't worry. He can handle you. He will manage that you can sustain and survive in the marine industry. So to end that up, what are your last words that you want to share to the listeners and the viewers?
Enjoy, really enjoy the moment, enjoy the life, try to live the present. Time running very fast, more fast than you thinking. And another thing that I think is important, most of your bad experience build your really what you know really is the best teacher. The bad experience, if you process correctly, is the best experience that you can have it in the end. You need a time, eh? Need time.
So that we have to sum up, kind of. Don't be worried if it hurts or if you get in trouble. It only builds you up. But as I said, with the support of Riccardo, it makes it much more easier. So thank you very much, Riccardo, having you here on Superyacht Radio.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's very nice to be with you, and I hope we have other opportunity.
We will do that for sure. We will have another interview someday, not too far away from now. And in the meantime, I wish you a great success.
Thank you.
And a lot of people approach you for becoming just better, also human being wise. I can sense that with you. That's a great step.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, be careful whatever you do. Enjoy, as you heard. Enjoy the time and have a good one, and see you on the next interview. Bye.
Bye.
You are listening to Superyacht Radio.